This is another Big Brother 27 live feed update. Comment, like, share, and subscribe. Get me monetized. Now, here's the update. So in this update, I'm going to focus on the ZAE and Rachel fight, the new alliance that's formed, and RYLIE declaring his feelings for Katherine. Funny enough. But first with the fight. Okay, we got a new Rachel quote. She stated, quote, "I would be careful coming for the queen. You will get beheaded," which came off very fake and scripted after she, pulled ZAE and Keanu to have a discussion, which basically exposed, her trying to put the two against one another. Obviously others will spin it to make it seem like Rachel came out on top. I mean, the only way she'll come out on top is on the TV edit because, as we know, production is obviously in her favor. And it's been made pretty clear that they have cast raging feminists like Katherine so they can ignite a gender war as another shield of protection for Rachel, because you'll have the females and the gay more concerned with getting the guys out instead of getting the, returning winner out of the house. Just like how the accomplice was a distraction and deflection from Rachel. And apparently the mastermind is going to do something again, which no doubt will be a deflection from targeting Rachel. I mean, it's so blatant and obvious. It's utterly pathetic. They might as well cancel the feeds and turn Big Brother into a scripted show, kind of like Traitors, since especially they're trying to be like that show this season. But yeah, ZAE, without a doubt, anybody that watched it won over that argument, because Rachel tried to even declare he was trying to intimidate her, even though she just kept staring at him. And he never raised his voice. But she pulled that typical female BS about, declaring a man as being scary or intimidating, even if he's still speaking in a mild-mannered voice. It's that Me Too nonsense, which I despise. But again, if anybody watched 12 and 13, they know Rachel likes to start fights and, fake cry. But at least the fights in 12 and 13 came off a little bit more organic than these ones. This is why I called her Angela 2.0, even though she's like her own sort of archetype. But, putting the older mom in the house to start arguments, I mean, that's what Rachel was paid to come back for. I mean, because again, she's never been a great strategic or social gamer, so her getting exposed this early is not a surprise. The reputation that she has comes from her persona and this idea that she's very competitive and a comp piece, which has been exaggerated as well. And so, yeah, this is what she's back for. And I'm sure later on in the season, around final 8, final 6, because of course this cast will allow her to get that far, we're going to have a, official, Rachel versus Gay argument 2.0, but this time it's going to be her versus Jimmy. So yeah, I guess Rachel putting her focus on ZAE probably means ZAE's the one that's going to get evicted. Even though ZAE made the best argument to keep him. He made it simple. It's not really about Amy. It's more so about what Amy is to Rachel. And keeping Amy in is a vote for Rachel. Like, that's his main pitch. And he said that, getting Rachel will be his goal. Getting Rachel out will be his goal, which will make it possible for everybody else's games to advance. Again, common sense for anybody that actually wants to win the money, but that's not the type of people that they cast. They cast people that's more concerned with basing allegiance on the genitalia than, on their individual best interests. But that's CBS once again pushing bigotry as a virtue, like they did with the cookout in the previous seasons, encouraging people to base their alliances on race as long as they're not white. And again, it's typical, and I have to say this because it's relevant, it's typical of liberals. That they will use sort of social issues, purposely cause conflict, and then try to portray it as a virtue. We're encouraging women to hate men or battle men because, oppression, when clearly none of that exists in this country. We're encouraging racial conflict because of oppression, when again, the only part of that exists is against the people that's accused of being bigots. So-called white people are the ones that have to put up with all of the racism nonsense. Like it's okay to rally against them. Which is why you have your libtard podcasters that cover this show shamelessly name call people that are a part of the white cast. But anyway, that's all I have to say about that. ZAE did a good job, made logical arguments. So if he doesn't stay, clearly it was production. I mean, it's simple as that. Now, a new alliance formed called the Bond Alliance with Ava, Zach, Vince, Will, Adrian, and Lauren. Started in the HOH room. They've been sort of teasing this allegiance, started in the have-not room with the people that got saved, which was Will, Zach, and Ava. And then they wanted to include other people. And now this is an alliance that if it's real, if it sticks, you wouldn't be able to predict the members in it. So it is a good alliance based on the variety of archetypes. So again, we'll see if it lasts. But usually alliances before the first 3 or 4 evictions don't last. And then we have RYLIE and Kate. Yeah, again, I have to say I'm surprised by RYLIE getting along with a lot of the females. I thought it would be the opposite. But, he was talking to Kate and Lauren, and then later on it was just him and Kate, and basically declaring his feelings for her. So this is the first time I saw on the feeds that, he specifically likes her, because I've seen him with like the other females. But again, he stumbled upon the raging feminist. So we'll see if the cowboy has the charm to at least make himself the one man that she won't be raging feminist about. I mean, we know those types do secretly have those fantasies about being dominated by, quote unquote, conservative men. So that most definitely will be an interesting dynamic if that Showmance goes through. But again, now we just wait for the eviction episode, which quite frankly is the only episode worth watching. And yeah, we'll see who stays between ZAE or Kelly, because that's who's truly between. These people won't evict Amy. And if they do, it will be a surprise, to me at least.